Welcome to Bari-Chatz with Nina
and Pam
of Bari-Bestiez.
No sugarcoating here. We are talking bariatric life in all its realness.
The wins,
Setbacks,
food noise,
grief,
regain,
self-care,
nutrition,
movement,
motivation,
and mindset.
So if you are ready for honest, empowering conversations, you are in the right place.
We are serving straight up truth about our experience as bariatric patients.
So grab your water, your courage, and remember, we are stronger together.
Hey, Bestie. Hello. How you doing today? I'm excited. You know why?
Because it's been 2 weeks since you've seen
2
me.
whole weeks.
2 whole weeks.
Oh, I mean, my husband went out of town for 2 weeks, and I was like, fuck you. But anyway, I was, and it gave me a lot of time to myself. I'm okay. This I have to have more often. Look at that.
I was
Look at
here
that.
while he was gone.
Yes, you were. That's why I was okay.
I spent the night.
I know you did. I love those days. We're in our 50s and we still have girls' nights. I love it. Guys, we wanted to talk about, it is currently November the 8th, so this will be aired in a couple of weeks, and the holidays are coming.
Yes, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's celebration.
And guys, we know as bariatric patients that this time of year can be emotional, a mental drain on you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to deal with all the different kinds of social...
You grieve those
Oh my
foods
God.
that you used to enjoy on the holidays.
And how can you stay on plan without totally sabotaging yourself? And we're going to try to help you through this based on our experiences. Always remember, we're not doctors, we're not medical professionals. We are bariatric patients just like you. And we try to explain what we have done.
Trial and error.
Trial and error. And believe me, we've both had about 3 years of trial and error so far. So why don't you go first, Pam?
First is the social anxiety. If you do those family dinners, if you work, you may have those Christmas parties, you do those dinners for the offices where you have to go out to restaurants. I don't know about
or
you.
bring a dish. We have
Yes,
those bring a dish, which I always
The
feel like
potluck.
nobody's going to like what I have because
Yeah.
I'm trying to eat healthy.
I always bring a salad. They always know Pam's bringing the salad.
And you always take it home.
Yeah. There's always that one person that feels bad for you and scoops a bowl
It's
out.
usually your office friend.
But those family gathering, they can be very overwhelming. I remember before I had surgery, when I found out we were going to dinner somewhere, I would go online and look at the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
What do their booths look like? Can I fit? Do they have tables? Is that an option? What
Or at
types
least a
of foods?
half table
Yes.
and half booth. Something. And that's pre-surgery. Both of us
Yes,
kind of did
and
that.
now it's more along the lines of, I go online and I look at the menu, is it bariatric friendly? And I always like to know ahead of time. We still do that.
Yeah, we
we
still
look
do.
to see, that way when it comes time, I know what to order.
We do a lot of times when we're going to a new place
Mm-hmm.
because we have gotten so used to certain places and they've gotten used to us.
They know how we're going to order.
Especially when you say, can I have edamame as an appetizer?
Yes. Or, can I have the bacon cheeseburger, no bun?
No mayo.
Yes, no mayo.
All that good stuff.
Cheddar cheese instead of American cheese.
Yes. And so how do you navigate judgment? Because that always seems to happen during these events, right?
Those comments like, should you be eating that, or is that all you're going to eat? Sometimes that can offend me just as much
I
as,
know, right?
should you be eating that? I know one of the response I say, in the beginning, I just would not even answer. I would just move on about my business. But now I explain, I've been on this journey for almost 4 years now. I've adjusted. I know what I can and cannot have. And it's not that I can't, it's that I choose not to. That's a sentence you need to learn. I choose not to.
And it really is a choice. And we talk about it all the time about making better choices. And I think that really is the key because you have to decide, is one meal really worth sabotaging your journey? Because some people are like, well, how can one meal sabotage your journey? Reintroducing foods. And if you are a food addict, sugar addict, whatever it may be, whatever brought you to your bariatric journey.
Coping mechanism, then yes, it can slide you right into other.
2 things in mind that were brought in during the holidays that have been a struggle to get rid of again. Chocolate and ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
And funny thing is, I wasn't a big chocolate eater before bariatric surgery. Now I crave it, and I just found out it's a magnesium deficiency when you crave
Yes.
chocolate. So there sometimes can be a medical reason behind this, but I didn't want to. Yeah, it's that time of year. If you guys have been following us for a while, it is now November the 8th, and my mother has started baking for the holidays already, and
Today,
and we went down.
downstairs.
Yep, and we went downstairs to say hi and have a little lunch with her, and the snickerdoodles were cooked fresh right out of the oven. Oh my gosh.
I mean,
Yep. Remember the last time?
Cinnamon.
Remember the first time I had a snickerdoodle after my surgery?
It's the story of a lifetime.
3 years ago. Right around Christmas, because my bariatric surgery was August 30th, so I was only 3 months.
I didn't laugh then, but it's
No,
hilarious.
it's hilarious now. And I didn't laugh then either because I was hysterical.
You were in tears.
I had called, I was like,
It was Nikki.
yes, Nikki.
Yeah.
She was in, we had a group of people that we used to hang out with that were all from the same surgical center. And I reached out to Nikki because she was about 6-7 months.
She was a week ahead of me.
A week ahead of you, so she was right around 6-7 months, and she was somebody who I had kind of connected with, and I was like, "Hey," and this was before Pam and I really got to know each other. We were just starting.
Nikki was
to
my go-to also.
Yes, and we were like, "Hey, girl," and she's like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I'm like, I think I just stretched my stomach." She goes, "Why do you think that?" And I said, "Well, I had a cookie."
A cookie.
A cookie.
They're this big.
They're this big, yeah. And she goes, "You can't stretch your stomach with that." She goes, "You might get dumping syndrome. Even as a sleeve patient, too much sugar can cause dumping syndrome."
You
And
get a form of it. Yeah.
you form of it. It may not be the full, you're not getting all the other effects of it, but you end up going very quickly. It's like a diarrhea. And she's like, "Girl, you're fine." She goes, "How many would you have eaten last year?" I said, "A whole freaking bag." And she goes, "That's a plus." So always remember, small quantities will not hurt you. Don't let it derail you. Don't let it become something you focus on. So I want to talk about friends and family sabotage during the holidays. And I know, Pam, you and I both have actually dealt with this, but when you go and you're hanging out with your friends or your family that are non-bariatric, and we all have plenty of those in our life.
And sometimes it's unintentional.
Yeah, and sometimes it's very
Yeah.
subtle. It's not intentional. Sometimes it's just that they don't understand what they're saying and how it affects you and how it can derail you. So anybody have that friend or family member that says, "Oh, just have another slice. Have another plate. I've cooked all of this food. Please take some home." As Pam said a minute ago, sometimes you say, I enjoyed it. Thank you. But I choose not to take it home because I know that I don't have the willpower or I don't want to be tempted by having this at home. It was so delicious. I am so glad I was able to have some bites of it today. But to keep and stay focused on my journey, I have to say no.
Birthday cakes, wedding cakes,
Cheesecakes.
cupcakes is not allowed in my house
No.
because that is my weakness. I was that person that don't bother inviting me to your wedding because I'm not going to go, but save me a piece of a wedding cake. Invite me to the baby shower. I'm not going to show up, but bring me a cupcake.
I'll send you a gift. Just give me a cupcake.
Yeah, I'll give you-
We're not very social. Well, we used to not be very social people. We've definitely gotten better over the years. I think it's helped that we go to things together.
Yes.
It definitely makes a difference. But, sometimes they're subtle in their ways of saying things. Or I think you had a situation right after surgery. I think it was your mother-in-law.
Yeah.
That how she said it, it just really, do you remember that?
I do. It was actually at Thanksgiving.
Oh, it was Thanksgiving, okay.
And I was using a tablespoon to put the food on my plate. I had just like the little
Dessert.
saucer, dessert. And I had maybe 5 ounces of food on my plate. And just out of not being educated on it, she asked me, that's all you're going to eat? And she didn't understand it. So when we sat down at the table, I shared with her. I said, so, I have to have the main part of my meal has to be protein. So I showed her how I figured out. I even have a little scale with me.
Wow, you carried your scale with you.
Yeah, I did.
She-
It went
she-
to
it's
the
okay.
Bahamas with me on vacation.
Hey, you know what? That first year, you kicked butt. Weight loss, and now I know why.
I was so strict. I would take it in restaurants. I wouldn't weigh anything more than I could. But I did not like that feeling of restriction.
I'm sitting here going, I just measured with my eyes.
I know. But after I sat down and I shared with her, she totally understood. And she has been one of my biggest supporters. And she's a part of our Bari-Bestiez. She follows us
Absolutely.
and she supports us. And it's been great.
And she's
because-
been there for me too. I mean, the nice thing about Mary is that once you become part of her tribe,
Your
you are
family.
forever family. I've been invited to reunions, everything since. And I think that's important, is to educate the people around you. You don't have to go crazy and be like, I can't do this, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Because then people hear can't. and then they feel like you are completely restricted, you can't do anything.
And you stop getting invited. And
Yes.
I want to be invited now.
I want to be invited now.
And I will show up.
We will show up. We
Yeah.
were joking about that earlier. But, you know, we need to make sure that when we're educating people, we understand that it's a choice. The doctors aren't telling you can never have something. It's a choice to either have or not have something, because you're the one that has to live with you. I heard a quote yesterday, and I'm trying to remember verbatim. The doctor is responsible for you in the surgery. That is where their responsibility ends on your bariatric journey. Of course, they have follow-ups and blood work and things like that. But their job for the bariatric surgery is the surgery itself.
Actual surgery.
You are responsible for everything else. So we can't blame our doctor that we're gaining weight. We can't blame our doctor that we're not getting enough nutrients, because we have been given the tool, we've been given the education, and if you weren't given the education, you should be seeking it.
But that's why with our surgeon, he also gives you a dietitian, a behavior specialist, someone that helps you with movement, mental health. We had all of those. We had the support group
For
every
a full
Tuesday
year.
night. We could still log in.
Yes, we can
and
still log in. We still get the
have
invitations.
access, yes. And we were two of the lucky ones on this
We had
journey
the
because
best.
we had the best surgeon and the best team, and they're still amazing.
Yes.
They still are there if we made a phone call tomorrow.
They're still there.
Or
And
maybe not, it's Sunday.
But you know, the thing is just making sure, set your boundaries. People are going to always test your boundaries. One more bite. Try this. You have to make the choice of whether you have it. Now, during the holidays, you may give in a little more than you normally would, because you still want to. You said we learn to live instead of survive at some point, wasn't
Yes,
it?
it was. Oh my goodness.
That's okay.
Not. It's about living well.
Yes. So when you get healthy, so Pam and I are definitely in a healthier position than we were 3 years ago. We have worked so hard to become healthy or healthier. Now we just need to learn to live well. And the biggest thing is making sure that you set boundaries. Remember your why. If you don't know what your why is, that's going to be part of your problem. Your why will change. I think we need to relook at our why every year. Make it part of your New Year's.
Every 6 months.
6 months. Well, that first couple of years.
That first year.
Yeah, that first
Yeah.
year you lose so much, your why can change.
And if you are within your first year, you want to be strict.
Yes.
You want to take your food skills
I'd say the first-
with you in your purse.
I'd say the first 2 years, because that first year is definitely when you're in the honeymoon phase and your
True.
body is, your tool is doing all the work for
Because
you.
I lost weight into that second year. You did too.
And I did too. I actually stopped losing weight about 6-8 months ago. And now I have to really work on it. I have to really make sure I'm exercising and things like that. But if we are strict on ourselves in those first 2 years, that's when you're building your habits, your basis. I can always go back, and I call it a reset. It's not a pouch reset, but you can go back to your basics. Basics being mindset, portion control, exercise, movement, working on your mental health, self-care, all the good things, eating the right things, making sure your protein is first before having anything else, getting your hydration in. But again, you are responsible for your boundaries. So what about people that travel during the
Do
holidays?
you remember traveling for the first time?
Yeah, I do. It was actually JBY.
Was it the first
That
flight?
was the first flight.
Okay.
That was the first flight that I
My
took.
first flight was in August. I had surgery in March, and in August we went to the Bahamas. And I remember walking onto the plane, and I did not ask for seatbelt extender.
Okay.
And then after I passed the lady, I was like, okay, now I'm too embarrassed to turn around and go back.
That's
What
what you
if I
send your
need
husband. That's what you send Randy.
And so I sat down, and I did not need it.
That is amazing.
So that's what, April, May, June, July. I was 5 months post-op. And I didn't need a seatbelt extender. And I was able to walk down the aisle without having to turn sideways and still squeeze between the seats. That was a good feeling.
That's great. I was 2.5 years before I flew. The last time I had flown before my surgery was with my daughter, well, at that time, my future daughter-in-law's Nashville trip that we did for her bridal shower.
And that was at your heaviest?
That was at my heaviest. I was 344 pounds. I was actually probably close to 350 at that point. But I was miserable. I brought my own seatbelt extender because I had actually, because I used to fly a lot for work, even at my heaviest, and I bought one for each of the airlines. I had one. I was cleaning out my closet a couple months back, and I found it. threw it in the trash. Didn't need it anymore. But when you and I went to JBY with OSLP, that they had done that, first off, I give my hats to them because they put off an amazing event.
They did.
But to get on that plane, be able to pull it and have like this much extra belt.
That was the best feeling.
I was like, and then I fell asleep. I was like, I was done. I was like, because of the anxiety, even though I knew I wouldn't need the extender, the anxiety of understanding what I've been through so many times beforehand. And it was such an amazing feeling. I could cross my legs.
That was another good feeling is when I used to sit in the seat, I spilled over into the other two seats if I was in the middle, or if I was on the end, one cheek was out in the aisle, or I was in the next person's seat, and we sat beside each other and didn't even touch.
Oh no! And the other thing is before, when I had gone to the Nashville trip, the guy beside me kept on huffing, and the girl beside me was like, "This is my seat," and I'm like, "Oh my God, how embarrassing!" And I get now why people were always like, "You should buy 2 seats," but that's crazy. But because it kept you from having to feel that way during your whole flight. But what are some things, like some travel tips and things that we can prepare for as we're traveling for the holidays, whether it's airplane or driving, things that we can do to be better prepared on our trip, to make the better decisions while we're traveling? What are some things we can do?
Well, first, dress comfortable.
Yes.
Definitely. But food prep. You always have to have those snack bags, or as Nina calls it, what do you call it?
The berry bag.
Her berry bag. What's inside that berry bag?
My
Because it goes everywhere.
It
with
goes everywhere. It actually stays in my
It
jeans.
saves me occasionally.
Yes. So I keep my Splenda because there are times where I like to have hot tea and I need a little Splenda. I keep a couple of honey packs in there, and they're the long straw ones that are to the mouth. But I keep water flavors. I keep my Bear Bells. For those
Which
of
the
you.
macros on those are amazing.
And
for
they are
bariatrics.
amazing for bariatric. We've actually had that confirmed. And they taste like a freaking candy bar. I love it. Now, this is not a meal. You don't want to do it often. But I digress.
Traveling, it'd be a quick
Yes.
fix.
Meat sticks, chomps, any kind of protein stick that you can
I
bring.
love the grass fed.
Yes. I bring apples with me when I go because that's the fiber that I need.
That's so easy to
absolute.
toss.
Yes. I take a small cooler usually, and that's where I'll keep my cheese, my yogurt, and if I take my almonds because I put it in my yogurt. It's to add extra protein to my Greek yogurt. And then some other things are just really anything that is easy to do, that you can do it while you're traveling and you can carry it with you.
You want to always have that water cup with you.
Oh my gosh, you definitely.
You can get water and ice anywhere.
And you can take, if you're flying, you have to go into the airport with if you take a tumbler, like a 40-ouncer with you, it has to be empty. But as soon as you cross over, you can get it filled up. You can fill it up at the water stations, or you can buy a $10 bottle of water.
We did that throughout our trip.
We did, because we had forgotten our tumblers. Of all the things, we left them in the car. So when we came back, of course, to the vehicle, they were still there. But, be prepared. It's like the Boy Scout motto, to always be prepared.
Yes.
Be prepared so that you don't fail. Because here's the thing. If I didn't have those snacks, and I also brought snacks for my husband.
And these, which
Oh,
I already
yes.
ate.
We
The
already-
Orchard Valley.
Yeah, I keep these on hand. It's my
The
go-to.
Cranberry almond mix.
Yeah, it's cranberry, almond, and a cashew little trail mix, and it is a small, enough to fit in the palm of your hand, and it's just enough to take the edge off, and it satiates you. But I also brought snacks for my husband, because what that did is the only time we stopped was for restroom breaks, to get fuel, and if I had my snacks, I didn't go inside Sheetz or Wawa to go get, junk food. And that kept me from making bad choices.
Now, what about those long car trips? You stop at a rest area. What's one of the things you could do besides stopping to eat? Movement.
So
get out and walk those trails.
Exactly. You can walk the trails, or if you don't have that much time, you just do a couple laps around the rest area. You can do
or around
calisthenics.
Buc-ee's, whatever you're doing.
There's one not that far from us. We're gonna have to go for a trip. But the big thing is getting some movement. Do some calisthenics. Turn on the music by your car and just get moving. If you guys saw that embarrassing video I did recently.
Take a band with you.
Yes, you can do that in the vehicle. If you're not the one driving, you can do that in the vehicle. And just find a way to get movement. People might look at you funny. Tell them to get over it.
People look at me funny anyway. I don't care.
They've always looked at me funny, but I'd rather have them look at me funny now in my shape that I'm at now. If somebody had looked at me that way at my larger size, I would have been like, What's wrong with me? What I got, egg on my
Well,
face?
I would have known they were looking at my weight.
Yes.
Fat shaming.
Yes.
You know, even though they didn't say it. They didn't always have to say it. It was the
It's
looks.
on the face.
But now when they look at me, I'm getting, it's different attention. I used to get, did you ever get those comments of, you're so pretty.
If you were,
Your hair's so beautiful. You know, but now it's not about my face and hair anymore. You know, I've had comments
say
like,
you
you
look
look really
great."
healthy, or you
Mhm.
look great, or, you know,
Yeah.
you look fit. You don't
I-
look your age.
this was actually before my panty. You know, I was sticking all my loose skin into my britches and all, so nobody could really see it. And yes, I say britches. I got actually whistled at. And I couldn't believe it because I had all this loose skin, but I had it tucked so well and I wore all the compression gear. You know, also understanding how to take those compliments. Because we went so long for people to fat shame or talk down to you. Sorry, I just drank my
I
drink.
remember my husband telling me all the time that I was sexy and I was beautiful, even when I was my largest. And I used to get mad.
I know, me
I
too.
didn't want him to tell me those things.
I didn't believe it.
And now I'll come out the new. I'm like, do I look pretty today? Do I look? He's like, you know you do. I always tell you that.
They don't understand.
Or he'll say something like, well, I didn't know I was allowed to say that anymore. Am I allowed to say it?
It's because you used to get mad. What do you
Yeah.
think? He's gun shy.
And questions that I never would have asked 3.5, 4 years ago was, do I look okay in these pants? Do I look okay? Does
do
my
the
butt
butt-
look big? Does
yeah.
my hips look...
I wouldn't have asked those questions either, but my husband is like your husband. He's never going to tell me I look bad. I can't trust him to tell me the
You can't
truth.
trust them, to be honest. But that's because they do love us
They
the way
do
we
love
are.
us regardless of how we look, and we appreciate that
Those
so
poor souls.
much. I know. They picked us.
We didn't give them a choice.
How do we manage the temptation during our travel? Let's say we are in
Well,
a,
if you're prepared, if you have your Barbells in your bag, and you have your water packets, and you have your cup with your ice ready to drink water, you're not going to make those other choices, I think, if you're prepared.
if you're prepared, I
Oh,
think
and
early on-
educated.
and educated. Also, if you still have your why right in front of you. So I think part of, as we get further along in our journey, our why tends to fade off, and we forget to re-up our why, kind of redefine it.
Because it changes along the way.
It does. And so what happens is I'm in the airport with my husband, and he loves Cinnabon. Oh man, you know it. And so I'm sitting here going, I know. And he's like, I'm going to give you a Cinnabon. And I was like, I've got my Bari-Bell with me. Bullshit. I had a good, nice bite of that.
But you had a bite.
I had a bite.
Before you would have ate
I
what?
would have eaten the
2
whole-
cinnamon rolls?
Yeah. But the big thing is just understanding that I can have that bite as long as I'm walking around the airport to burn it off, but also understand I may have to go to the restroom a bit more because it may force, that high sugar content is going to force a diarrhea a lot of times.
High sugar just does not sit well at all.
So what about, I know that you like to take popcorn, but so do I. How do we include popcorn in our travel, but without it being too terrible?
Well, honestly, air popped and plain. You don't do the butter and the cheese.
Or you get the skinny pop.
You get the skinny pop, yeah.
boom chicka.
Boom chick pop.
Yeah. So, you know,
What's
we
the other one? I like the Himalayan.
Himalayan salt.
Yeah,
Those ones are
Himalayan
good
salt.
too. So again, make sure protein's first. So even if you're traveling, if you forgot something and you have to eat food at a location, go to a restaurant or something that you know you can get the items. If I had to stop in a Sheetz or a Wawa or whatever gas station, Buc-ee's was near you, make sure you go to the protein first. My husband and I have been to a Buc-ee's before while traveling, and I went to their pork and had their barbecue with no sauce on it. I just ate that. Now I did put a little, what was it, vinegar or something on it just to give it some moistness.
I'm weird. I get the prepackaged boiled eggs.
That works too. I mean, hey, do what you
Everywhere.
need to.
Wawa, Sheets, you name it.
So
7-Eleven.
just making sure that when you do have to stop somewhere, you remember to put your protein first. I know it gets harder the further away from your surgery you get because you start introducing foods back and temptation becomes more palatable in a sense. In other words, I know I've lost all this weight. Sure, I'm going to have a bite. But make it a bite and not the whole thing.
I've noticed that we tend to be more forgiving on those bites. And we give ourselves
Too much grace?
too much grace sometimes. What is
We
it?
do.
Give an inch, take a mile.
We take the mile sometimes. But the big thing is just recentering yourself afterwards. So if you do, we talk about this a lot. I'm going to coin this phrase, but we were talking actually about a year ago. And I said, if we make a mistake, or if you choose to have that item that you really shouldn't have in that beginning, the next bite should be a berry bite. And a berry bite is a protein forward bite.
Yeah. So what about our last subject here? This is a good one.
Pressure to inspire others. So as bariatric patients, everybody's looking at you to make the right choices.
You're expected to be the poster child for bariatrics.
So you're expected to only eat protein, to only eat 4 ounces, to only drink water, to constantly be working out.
And we're still trying to survive too.
We're just trying to get through that first year. While it is the honeymoon phase,
that was the easiest for me.
That was easy, but the mental part of it was the hard part for me, because I struggled with, I want this, but I can only have that, and it was knowing that I made a decision and I had to stick with it because I'm one of those people. I'm not a quitter.
And mine, you went through that. A lot of people go through that the first year. Mine is the opposite. None of that hit me till year 3.
Oh, okay.
That's when I started fighting the system, fighting my journey, and I let those foods slide in, and I've lost 100 and blah 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 pounds, and I've earned this slice of cheesecake, or I can have a roll from Texas Roadhouse. No, I can't.
No, we can't, because that will fill you up. And
that is my can't.
Yes, there is my license plate. Well, I'm probably saying too much, but it says no can'ts. There is no such thing as a can't, but you do make a choice.
Yes.
One of the things that I found is that, especially when I dropped mine so quickly and so dramatically, but I had an 8-month stall, guys. Mm-hmm. I had an 8-month stall. I broke my back. I couldn't do movement. Pam, thank God, kept me going, because if not, I may not have ever gotten to my goal weight.
And I love the comparison of our journeys, because within that first year, we both lost about the same amount
almost
of
100
weight.
pounds in my first year. Yeah.
And I went to the gym 7 days a week. I carried a scale with me, a food scale, everywhere I went. I measured, I weighed, I was very strict. I only ate what was on my list that I was given from day one.
Mm-hmm. Where I was completely opposite. I could not exercise. I injured
and
my
then you
back.
stretched your stomach with a cookie.
The single cookie. I'll never live that down. That was funny. That's called being uneducated. Please take the time to educate yourself so you don't go into panic mode and have anxiety because you had one cookie. But I digress. My first year couldn't exercise. I had broken my back. I was in a very bad place mentally.
You were struggling.
Very bad place mentally. Physically, could not work out, could not really do anything.
But you didn't have any friends.
I didn't. I had one. But I met you during that.
Yeah.
So we were learning about each other. We still weren't besties yet at that point. Yeah. We had not built Bari-Bestiez yet.
No.
We didn't build that.
We had that group.
Yes.
From that when you and I first met.
Yeah, the group from the hospital.
Yes.
And that helped us.
That was the beginning.
Yep. And we actually, that little group decided to just go further and educate ourselves further. And that's really where the love of what we decided to do came from. And, I didn't exercise. Measured by eyesight. I've never scaled. I've never measured a single thing in my life or in my journey. I've never measured.
Girl, hold on. Let me get that chicken breast and get my little scale out.
No, I've never measured. So here's the thing. But we both lost 100 pounds in that first year. We both had long stalls, but we had different journeys. So that's why we always say your journey is yours alone and you cannot compare to somebody else's. That's why it's very important to find other peers, other patients that you can talk to, because you're going to get different perspectives. But ultimately, all your medical advice needs to come from your doctor and surgical team, because there is no one out here that can tell you medically what is the right thing to do except for them. We can give you advice based on our experiences, but we always end it with, please seek help from your doctor or medical staff. So what else can we do to prepare for the holidays? One thing I feel like is movement.
Yes.
So we know we're going to have a little
Those
bit more.
turkey trots and get out there. Oh, I love it.
Go ahead.
We're doing our turkey trot.
Yes.
Thanksgiving morning.
If anybody is in the Fredericksburg area, Fredericksburg, Virginia,
Come and join us.
We will meet at the right in front in the circle of the school.
Yes.
It's
the YMCA one. What is it?
Oh, I thought it was. Is it at the YMCA this year?
No, that's who sponsors it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
we're meeting the same place.
Okay, so I think it's but it's right there by the old Mary Washington Hospital. And we are going to be meeting there. I think our kickoff, where we actually start walking, is at 7:30 a.m. So the thing is, once I'm done, I have to leave because we have Thanksgiving breakfast here for Billy's daughter and her husband. And then I think the
And I have Thanksgiving with my family.
And then I leave after that immediately to go down to see my son. So Thanksgiving Day is very busy, but what do we have planned after that?
And then Friday, we are going to be preparing everything for our Friendsgiving on Saturday with our families.
Our non-blood families, as we like to call them. So my husband and I, and Randy and Pam, and her sons.
What's your blood family and my blood family?
You know what I'm saying. We are our own family. So we're having a Friendsgiving, and we're excited about that. And, you know, we love that because while you have your friends, you have your blood relatives and your family that you're married into or whatever, then there's family that isn't blood or isn't married into. And that's what Pam has become, and her family has become. Her boys are my boys. I ask her daily, how are the boys doing? What are they up to? You know, we ask about it. We stay in that because, you know, I don't even think you've actually met Hunter, have you?
I've talked to him on the phone.
Yes, you have. My son lives further away, and, you know, with being in the law enforcement, it's just, schedule's a bit hard.
And he's a newlywed.
Yes, and life's just busy. So hasn't been able to, but I'm hoping that he'll be able to make it to this, but we'll see. And I would love for him to meet my bestie, and I talk about her all the time to him.
And I did have lunch with Brooke today.
Yes, you did. So it was nice. And that's the thing. You know, while we are Bari-Bestiez and we are out there helping other people, we're also, Nina and Pam, best friends, and we make sure to separate the two.
We're family.
Yes, we are family. We are family.
Sisters.
Yeah, that one. I lost the words. She's definitely older than I am. She remembers.
The stage, ladies.
So anyway, what we wanted just to say was, you know, have fun. Enjoy the holidays. Set your boundaries. Decide before you go somewhere, decide what you're going to allow yourself. Because instead of being in the moment and having to struggle with that decision, make the decision ahead of time.
Know your answers. I sometimes rehearse my answers because I know what questions I'm going to get. Sometimes they don't change. That way you're not the bad guy. And because, you know, sometimes people get fickle about, you know.
I know. And you want to keep getting invited. And
people want to be fun and you want to.
You don't want to be the downer.
I don't want to walk in and people say, oh, there's that bariatric patient.
I mean, I know we tell
Pam's here.
I know we tell the story a million times. Our families have heard it a million times. Our friends have heard it a million times. But I hope at some point it resonates with someone who needs to know it. And, you know, my family, while they were not big fans of it, they knew that I needed the surgery. They knew that it was my last choice, I had tried everything else beforehand. I mean, and that's the one thing I want to end this with is we've all done something before we decided on bariatric surgery. It was kind of the last straw for many of us. So you have to make a choice that this is a holiday, this is an event, this is a one-day situation. Is it worth detouring your entire journey? Because that one bite can lead to
It's
more
a couple
issues.
Hours.
Yeah.
You know, a few hours.
And we always say one bite doesn't hurt, but if you're the kind of person that once you're given that bite, you're going to want it back. Like, I have not allowed myself to have soda. And I used to be a soda addict. And I say addict because I drank Mountain Dew straight up. I drank Pepsi straight up. You know.
If we were alcoholics, we couldn't have a shot during the holidays and be fine.
Right.
No, that would lead into something else.
I like that.
And if I was an addict, I couldn't, you know, smoke or take a pill, you know, or whatever, or shoot up, whatever they do, you know, and be okay with it.
Right.
You know, it would lead me into other temptations.
And that's why it's important to have your boundaries set before you go. And have your answers to what, so let's say I'm just going to use a mother or a mother-in-law and say, I know that they're going to ask me this or they're going to try to push this to me. I need to have my response ready, and I need to have conviction in that response, not to be ugly, but to educate and explain I am making a choice not to have that today. I appreciate all the effort you put into it, but, you know, I'm not going to take it home. I'm not, you know, thank you. Be polite, but hold your boundaries.
Something else that was noticed was when I used to go to the family dinners, I was so conscious because of my size. I didn't want to, you know, we always did family style where, like a buffet style, you go up and you go around the bar and you get your food and then you go back to the table. I wanted to just get to my seat and sit down so I could hide. I didn't want to be standing up there. I was always, people trying to scoot past me. There wasn't enough room to go behind me. I would,
you wanted to find the seat where you
I
weren't
didn't
in the
want
way.
people judging how much I was putting on my plate. So I used to have, Randy would make my plate. But Randy made my plate like he made his plate.
Yes.
And he made made my plate like a 360-pound woman. He has not made my plate for me since I've had surgery. I go up and I make my own plate.
You have to make your own
and
plate.
that makes a difference.
And also, if you ever decide to drink, don't let anybody make your drink either. We have a story for that for another day.
Video.
And let's talk portion real quick. And I know I wanted to end on the other, but I think that's important. Portion size. We talk about dessert plates or toddler plates. I've even seen people get those tins with the little like cupcake tin pieces, like the 6.
I've seen those.
You don't have to fill them up, guys. You just need to put enough in it, but it separates it and it says, this is all I'm taking. This is all I'm having. And I think it helps.
I can see me taking a cupcake tin to my mother-in-law's fancy table. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But I grab your fine china.
I've taken toddler plates with me. I still have my granddaughters are 7 and 8 years old, and I still have their toddler plates.
The saucer?
Yes.
That's what I use. And my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law too, shout out to Gloria and Mary. When they set a table, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful. And they always have everything matching.
It reminds me of my grandmother's.
I take the cup off, and that's what I take to fill. And I'll sit it inside the big plate.
So it looks like it's...
Yes.
And it makes you... That's the other thing. You have to...
Because people don't notice.
They don't notice it if it's inside the big plate. Also, you don't feel so restricted when you see it inside the big plate.
Yes.
And I am the kind of person, I will take the teaspoon. I do the same thing. But I get a little bit of everything, and I take a bite of each. I never finish it. Of course, I finish my protein.
Yes.
And then I will take a
always
bite.
do at least half my plate is protein.
And then the
And
other...
I will tell you, ladies, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no,
Yes, I did. No, okay. And gentlemen, if this is your first Thanksgiving since surgery, be careful with the turkey.
Yes. It's very dry.
It's very dry. You're going to get that where food feels like it just sits on your chest, and you cannot drink with your food.
No.
Keep that in mind.
That first year, you should not be drinking.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, we sip sometimes, but... And the other thing is, if yours is very close after, so let's say Thanksgiving and you've just had surgery in mid-October, I took a shake with me, even though I still had a little bit of soft food. So I took my shake with me, my first one, because I was only 3 months post-op. So I took my shake, but then I had only soft foods on my plate.
I was 8 months out.
You were 8 months out.
Yeah, about 8 months.
So do what's best for you. But these are just some tips and tricks that Pam and I learned along the way that hopefully will help you guys out during your travels this holiday season. So we'll talk soon.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Bye.
That's a wrap on Bari-Chatz. Besties, it's time to close the mic for now.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of honesty, laughter, and all things bariatric.
Through the highs, the lows, the food noise, and the NSVs.
We hope you found connection, inspiration, and maybe even an aha moment along the way.
So follow and subscribe Bari-Bestiez on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Want a behind-the-scenes up-close action? Join us on YouTube and don't miss a moment.